Well, good morning, everybody. Michael Soothing here. As is our habit sometimes on a Saturday morning, I wanted to go through the local paper with you because you don't want to hear about all the disasters in the world when you're looking for soothing videos. And local news will not be upsetting or tense. So let's get right into it. You know, I've made about 10 ASMR videos so far, and I haven't uploaded any of them. So you might see 3 or 4 of these appear at once I start uploading them. I just wanted to give you more videos in case you stumble across my channel. Didn't want to have just one there, you know. So before we get started, speaking of dates and times and things like that, maybe I should give you an update on the status of this Valentine's Day balloon. It's shriveling up more and more. It's been around now since February, so a couple of months, and eventually, when it won't stay aloft anymore, then we'll discard it. But for some reason, can't quite bring ourselves to put it in trash or anything, as long as it's staying afloat. So, also makes kind of a soothing sound, you know, as you know. It floats in front of the fan sometimes, makes its own noises, travels up to the ceiling if we let it loose, kind of moves along and does its own thing, various places. Anyway, that's a little bit sidetrack. I think I'm going to get this tea bag out of here. I usually drink coffee, but I'm still wrestling, as you hear in all my videos, all my early videos, wrestling with the aftermath of a cold and another cold and allergy season. So eventually you'll hear my real voice. We're close now, but not quite there. Alright, what are the important local stories? Something about the women's local basketball high school. The front page story. Critically important there. Something about getting to know your butcher. You know, I didn't know I had a butcher. So, I guess now I know. So let's see what's important happening in local community here. Take a sip of this first. Alright. First of all, it talk about federal official toots job creation during visit. Here they're talking about a type of motorcycle made here close by that's called Zero motorcycles. And the reason they're called, I don't think that's a very good name for your product. Don't think I'd want my product being called a Zero. But the reason they call it that is because it's a zero emission vehicle. It's an electric motorcycle. And they're actually pretty good if you just do a lot of local travel around the city, something like that, you know. Don't think you'd want it for a long distance trip, but this guy talking about how the local police department buy a couple and then other places buy them. Now they're shipping them all over the world. What is in the news briefs? Something about negotiations with the grocery store. What else we got here? Library, Felton Library Friends announces a poetry reading. All right. Should I read poetry to you sometime? Maybe we'll read poetry. I find that the poetry of Edgar Allan Poe is soothing to listen to, but the content is not very soothing. That's just me. What we have here, instructor enters scene with a free self-defense class. This is for women to learn self-defense. If the women learn self-defense in this free class, then maybe they can fight off bad guys. Luckily, we don't have too many bad guys around here. But maybe I should send the women in my life to this class. But I just need to ask them to, if they learn this, to only use it for self-defense and not use it on me when they're angry, you know, if I'm annoying them or something. So, what else we got here? The Scotts Valley Art Commission issues a call for poets. So if any of you out there are poets, you might want to participate in this 14th annual Verse in the Valley contest. I guess it's 200 words or less. You submit your poetry at the local school's art commission office. And then again, of course, we have our same homes I show you before, that if you have like a little outhouse or something worth about $1 million in this overpriced area. I'm being redundant, huh? Okay, so summer mural camp. Looked like she having a good time there, putting that paint all over her. Do you remember when you were a kid and you would do finger painting? I think we all kind of missed that just a little bit, you know. What else is going on? Here is the crime report with all the terrible crimes happening in the local area. 15-year-old girl claims she had been assaulted when she was walking at Hacienda Drive, but when she was interviewed by detectives several days later, she redacted her story and had many inconsistencies. So apparently she was looking for a little bit of attention that day. Or maybe she was trying to cover with her parents because she don't come home on time. Something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to try to speculate. What else happened? Yeah, this news is from like a month ago. Where are they running it today? These dispatches, I don't know. I guess they're way behind. March 15th. Deputy contacted a man sitting inside a parked vehicle. Then they arrest him for having drug paraphernalia. Alright, and a warrant. What's this one? These are all the really important crimes, of course. Deputy arrested a man in Felton for public intoxication. We always have a couple of these each week. A vehicle was stopped when they observed the driver violating several vehicle codes. See, if this guy had only violated one or two, maybe he doesn't get stopped. He violated several codes. Okay. And it was determined that the driver, oh, it's a she, driving under the influence of alcohol. Don't drink and drive. And you know what I tell you in most of my videos? Don't ASMR and drive, because you might fall asleep and get pulled over. Alright. What's this one? Somebody was intoxicated, holding a can of beer and kicking in a door. He was located and taken into custody. So, don't kick in doors, I guess is the lesson there. What else? More public intoxication. This was the county sheriff office. A little bit different than the local police department. A resident reported Somebody stole her son's checks. A resident reported someone stole a pair of running shoes. I guess they got them and then they ran away and could go faster because of the running shoe. Officers arrested a woman for alleged shoplifting. She had been arrested previously for shoplifting a day before at other businesses. I guess she's not learning her lesson. I think she's going to do that again in the future. Sometimes it's a compulsion, with people. It's like, I can get something for free. They might be rich and still be a shoplifter. Hold on a second while I sip this. Just indulge me, thank you. A storage unit was broken into. Gee, that makes me want to put a bigger lock on my storage unit when I see that. Someone took a bicycle. I don't keep anything valuable in it, but we have things that have sentimental value. Not much storage space for everything. What else? Oh, this one finally something. Officers arrested a man on suspicion of battery in North Scotts Valley. He pulled his girlfriend's hair, threatened her, and kicked her multiple times while he was trying to pull her out of a vehicle. I don't go in much for people who are mean to women and children. Kind of think they should be locked up for about 20 years. That's just me. Maybe 30 years. I don't like that. A smartphone was reported stolen after a resident left it on a park bench. Don't leave your iPhone. I mean, do I have to tell you this? But the owner was able to track the phone using iCloud. Oh, that's pretty clever. So they're using, location tracking technology, GPS to track down where their iPhone went. Let's see. What the heck? Okay, this one gonna crack me up a little bit. 27 pink flamingos were, I guess those are the plastic kind, were reported stolen from the front yard of a house on Deerfield Drive. The homeowner's daughter claims she saw a pickup truck full of boys pull up and take them sometime between 11:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Can you tell me, what is a group of young men going to do with 27 plastic pink flamingos? Are they planning to drive to Florida and sell them to the old people there in the retirement communities or something? Because I don't know of anyone else who puts pink flamingos in front of their house. So I'm not sure what they have in mind. Maybe it's a prank, they have a future plan for a prank. Let's see. I'll have to keep my eyes open. See what happens. A resident of Bean Creek reports someone stole the registration tab from his vehicle. That can be a big hassle, because then you got to get another one from the DMV. A bag containing personal belongings was taken from a vehicle. And somebody reported child abuse because the person was keeping a vicious dog at the house. And so that's, I don't know, that doesn't sound too good. A woman was arrested on Mount Herman Road for probation violation. All right. Oh, there you have it. All the violent and terrible crime we have here. Let's see what the letters to the editor have to say this week, and see if anything earth-shakingly important is on the minds of the local community. Let's see. Oh, this is appropriate since we just finished the crime report. More detail on local crime, please, says this writer. Editor, I enjoy reading this paper, but I would like to see a more full report on local crime. The crime blotter makes it sound like we only have minor theft, probation violation, and public intoxication. This is bizarre, because that's what I just said, and I didn't write this letter. I haven't read this paper yet, even, so I just want you to know if it sounds ironic. All right. Well, very strange, kind of serendipity type thing. I can't find the... Oh, here's her complaint. My husband Oh, I knew it was going to come down to a personal thing. I got to sip my tea for this. Hold on. I'm so tired of this. I know you're going to get tired of me complaining about scratchy throat. I'll be doing it for the next month and a half during allergy season, you know. Okay. Got sidetracked. All right. My husband recently took down an armed robber at a local convenience store, and the police were called. I can't find the incident in the crime blotter, and when I think about it, I can't remember ever reading more serious crimes being reported, like armed robbery or sexual assault. I guess she's hooked on that new crime channel called ID on the TV. Actually, she's just mad because they didn't report her own thing, you know, her husband's thing. Please give us the truth. We can handle it. We actually require it to be safe in our community. All right. She might not realize that we don't have very much serious crime in the community. But I have seen, like, a murder story reported in this paper. But it's like, you know, one murder from 10 years ago, finally making it to the court system. Don't let Scotts Valley develop away all the natural beauty. You know, I'm not going to comment on this one, and the reason I'm not going to comment is because this is supposed to be a soothing video. And if I talk about what I think, how the local community is getting overdeveloped, too crowded, overbuilt, no water, because we're in a drought, I might get upset and not be soothing anymore. So I'm going to pass on that one. Quick pothole fix should be an example for the county. That I have to send a big thank you for the Scotts Valley Public Work Department. A big pothole on Lockhart Gulch was filled. Now, aren't you glad I told you about this? I know most of you don't drive in Scotts Valley, little town in the Santa Cruz Coast Mountain. But for the rest of us, you can be happy for us. We don't have to hit that pothole, okay? What else we got here? Somebody's happy that somebody did something for somebody. Here is a big full-page story. New play structure slated for Bonnie Doon. Here they're talking about the elementary school. And the old play structure, you know, is getting some wear and tear. So, we're going to get, we don't like that, I guess, the residents there, they're going to get a new play structure. So, this full-page story business. You know, the school system doesn't have a lot of money. The amount they collect from taxes has gone up about 400% in the last 10 to 20 years, but they don't have a lot of money because all that money pays for teacher pensions. So, you know, we have to have bake sales and new bond measures and taxes. But see, I don't want to talk local politics. That's not soothing, is it? Let's move on. Oh, here was the article from the front page, and it says, here, your local butcher. Where did my pen go? Did it get trapped in the paper? There's the ads. We're not going to look at them this week. We don't need the ads. We saw those last week. There's my pen. It was hiding. It didn't want to get used anymore, so hiding from me. Wanted to take a nap under the paper. Your local butcher should be your best friend. I just said I didn't want to talk controversial to you in an ASMR video. But when I think about, first of all, I don't know who my butcher even is, but when I think about local butcher, I think about a guy in a white smock covered in blood and holding a big meat cleaver. And I'm not sure that's the image I conjure up when I think about who I want to be my best friend. Now, I have nothing against butchers. They, have a vital service when it comes to helping people with their meat cuts. But let's see why they're saying this. Your butcher should be your best friend. Oh, she did put a caveat in here. In the local grocery store, that is. Okay. I'm glad she qualified that with a little bit of clarification. She goes on to say, if you're going to have an event or something, what is she going to say here? Her butcher became her friend. She looked him in the eye and said she liked the poultry and meat in his showcase and the fresh fish brought in daily. We have very good fish in this county because we have fresh fish from Monterey Bay. I've been out there fishing, caught salmon, halibut, things like that. Very good rockfish, But see, I have that explanation in another video. Let's move on. This guy went to Cabrillo College, sausage and curing courses. Now, see, we can all learn something. I went to Cabrillo College for some general ed when I was younger, and for some electronics courses, some engineering courses, and things like that, to prepare me for rocket science and furthering education. I had no idea that they have sausage and curing courses. Now that I know, I'll know where to go if I want to change career and become a butcher. Anyway, let me sip this and see what else they're saying. How to do Texas-style beef brisket and beans. She's talking about certified Angus beef and 90% lean sirloin. Yeah, that's pretty good. And how the customer can ask about the source of their meat and poultry. That's pretty good. Has the meat been aged or dry or wet packaged? This is more about meat than I've ever learned, or maybe I should go talk to this guy. Anyway, what does it say here? Some of my best talks have been taking place in front of the fresh fish counter, and let me emphasize the word fresh. And she talked about Dungeness crab delivered live. I forgot to tell you, we have the best crab on earth here. I tell you that in another video. Dungeness. My friend Walter, he has a boat, and we have gone out on that boat. And besides fishing, he puts out crab pots in Monterey Bay. Gets some nice big Dungeness crabs, and boy, are they good. You can have them in a crab salad, or have them with a little melted butter. I guess you folks in Europe would want to dip them in some olive oil, because you're kind of used to that instead of butter, And that is healthier for you, so wish I would have grown up with that habit. Anyway, we kind of talked this one to death. So let's see what else is here. Something about a tree, the beauty of a tree. This lady have a column every week on gardening and big events. The mayor's pancake breakfast coming up. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. Pancake breakfast in a small town on the Santa Cruz coast. What's bugging your computer, it says here. They can solve it. All right. Let's see. Getting to know all your local merchants. And something about new life for old jewelry. I think that may be resetting things. You know, I have a couple things like that I gotta do. Mrs. Mikey have a wedding band from previous marriage. I guess I shouldn't talk so personal in this thing. But we take the stone out of that to make a pendant or something. Haven't done it yet. And got to figure out a stone to put in there. I got some jewelry, some jewels and stone. We'll figure something out. What's this here? The Wonderful Life of Somebody or Other. Florence Kuo. You meet some people in life that you know are special right away. And I guess that's this person here. And let me see if I can quickly speed read the gist of the story and give you the highlight. She come from a China eastern coastline province. Fu Yang, youngest daughter of a farmer. And in 1949, communists took control of that country. That would be China. And her father and 6 siblings relocated to some place called Guangdong. Don't know where that is. Later they left and they escaped and joined their family. She went to nursing school in Macau, then moved to Hong Kong, worked in a health clinic. Anyway, let's get down to the something about their children. And she took her youngest child to visit and play games with the elderly. That's a good thing, you know. There's elderly in retirement homes who are very lonely. And I used to go visit them long time ago with first wife. Now I get personal again. By the way, I'm friends with my first wife. No friction. And whatever happened wrong were my fault. I just say that. Alright, so after retiring, I guess she worked at the hospital here. And she was active at Santa Cruz Bible Church. I used to be a member of that church. And she did potlucks. And she's devoted to her family. Let's see here. All for her. I think this might be. Is this an obituary kind of thing? I guess it is. So it's talking about her life, and a good life. Looked like she lived a pretty good life. Now here's something about a surf fishing contest. I haven't done very much surf fishing. When you surf fish, usually you're trying to catch surf perch. But a lot of people like to do that kind of fishing. This guy has a column on local fishing every week. And we don't have much fishing anymore because of our drought in the lakes and the streams. So we have to focus on the ocean. Anyway, he's talking about a perch tournament. And I've caught a lot of perch from the Santa Cruz wharf in the past before it got overrun with sea lions. Now they eat all the fish and there's not a single fish left there. But when I was a kid, caught a lot of fish there. Okay, so they had a nice event, it appears. And now I think we're just on to ads and Sudokus and crossword puzzles. This is kind of a legal guy. Comes in each week, talk about legal stories. This week is wacky landlords. So if you're a renter and you have a wacky landlord, this guy might have some good advice. Pardon me for the sip there. Many people, see, we have some very expensive housing, as I mentioned. So you try to rent something around here. It's like $2,000 for a tiny little one-bedroom apartment or two-bedroom apartment. And for you people in Europe, that's, you know, like you're talking here $2,800. You know, in euros, this would be, what would it be in euros? It's about 1.4 to 1. So I guess that would be about $1,200 euros a month. You know, quite a lot for a little tiny studio or one-bedroom apartment. Anyway, he says he's talking about advice for people who have rented little illegal rentals. People convert their basement or their garage or something into a rental place, or their closet. You know, come rent this closet, only $1,000 a month. There's enough room in it for one little bed. You know, you just have to stoop over to have the clothes hanging above you. Anyway, he talks about how to protect your rights and things like that. So I won't go into all the details, but I might go back and read that later. Kind of interested now what he has to say. I don't think you'll be too interested, again, in our local high school sports. Seems like all they ever report on is the high school girls basketball. I don't know why that is. Quite a few other sports, but maybe the editor has a daughter who plays on the basketball team. Maybe that's what it is. And Little League results. So for you people in New York or France or England, if you happen to need to know what's going on in the Little League baseball, the local 12-year-olds here, I'll let you know. All right. Bike safety program is the final story. And of course, bike safety is important. I didn't do much bike riding around here because everything around here is busy roads with no shoulder. And, you know, it's lots of hills and mountains, so kind of hard to, not like the city or something, or the country. Well, I think that's it for this week, everybody. Hope you enjoy our local news, and we'll come back and do it again sometime. But I've got some other ASMR. Yesterday we went down to Central California. I shoot an ASMR video there on how we collect agates at our secret ocean beach. And we also went inland and looked at the spring bloom of wildflowers. And I used my new HD camera for that. And we did a little fossil hunting. So I'll upload that sometime in the future when I figure that out, how to use that HD camera properly. Meanwhile, have a good weekend, everyone. Don't ASMR and drive.